All right, now we're going to be talking about non-negotiables. Dun, dun, dun. Talk to me about non-negotiables, Shannon. And why is it important?
So, so since I do travel, non-negotiables for me has been time. So to give you a perfect example, right now I have 4 families in Europe, and they are hours ahead. So for me, it's very stressful because I like to be on their beck and call, right? Like I'm white glove, I'm making sure the reservations and everything. So when I do not have clients, my non-negotiable is time. I do not look at my phone. So yesterday, I did not look at my phone. I think just a little bit in the morning, just to make sure my clients were okay, but then that was it. I did not answer or open up any messages until this morning, early, very early, but at least I had a good chunk of the day to give, it was Father's Day, but also my children the time, because if not, I could be glued to my phone. But when families are not traveling at all, my non-negotiable is Sundays, like, no, I don't want to be connected. I don't care. I don't want to be on my socials. I don't want to check anything. Even if I'm just doing nothing at home, not even with my kids, because my kids do ditch me, I think it's for mental. Like, I need to have that for me because I am connected all the time. So that to me is a non-negotiable, is my time.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I relate to time and just being very mindful of what I need to do first. What's good for me as far as time is concerned. But really non-negotiable for me is prayer. God, I know that, that life is busy and, I have the time in the morning, but no matter what, before the day is over, it is a moment to share gratitude, to, give prayer for all the things that God has placed in my life, all the beauty. I must take the time to just give thanks and to pray.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Along those lines, yes, the morning routine of prayers is non-negotiable for me, and I miss it when I don't do it. I'm like, oh, something's off. Oh, wait a second, I didn't do my morning prayers. So it's become that I have to. Another thing that for me is non-negotiable is at night when I go to bed, and it's just at least saying an amen or something with my husband, whether he goes to bed before I do or after I do. It's something that it's like the finish of the day. And
I love that.
And just having that, I mean, literally he could be snoring and I'm still saying, okay, amen.
Amen. So really, we'll all agree that a non-negotiable is time, right? And it's time for certain things. It's time for family, time for prayer, time for wrapping up our day, right? I think there might be a lot of people that are watching that are curious, how do we not only define the non-negotiables, but how do we stick to them? Like, what are the conversations we need to have, right, with our partner, our children, our clients, our friends, to be able to maintain those non-negotiables, right? Because usually the non-negotiable involves other people, other situations, other circumstances, right?
Yeah, agreed. I was at my mom's in Pompano Beach on Saturday. I just went for the day, and she's like, "Why are you staying?" And it's like, I can't. I have something to do tomorrow, but it's Sunday. You don't work, but there's something that I need to do on Sunday. I have something that I need to do tomorrow. Tuesday I won't work. I have a funeral. So that is a non-negotiable. Like, there's no, let me think about it. Let me kind of rearrange my schedule. It's, no, this is what I have to do. I'd love to stay. And they're like, why, you don't want to stay with us? Of course I want to stay. I absolutely prefer to stay than go home and be in an apartment by myself and my dog. But it is a choice. It's a choice. And I also think give yourself grace. Like, if you don't get it done in the morning and you don't get it done in the evening, but you commit to getting it done, that's non-negotiable. You still commit to the thing,
So what I'm hearing is setting a boundary, right? Your mom was trying to convince you to stay.
Yeah.
But you saw the opportunity you have. So it sounds like you have boundaries, right? You noticed that you had work to do. You felt like you had spent enough time with your mom, and you have this funeral on Tuesday. So you're kind of looking at the next 3 or 4 days. You're mapping out what you need to get done. But now you have somebody encouraging you, persuading you, right, and sometimes even bullying you into saying, right, or peer pressuring you, right? Because we always have those people in our lives. So how do you set that boundary?
I just think of what I need. It's a hard no. I don't do that anymore. I don't
You don't dilly-dally.
vacillate. I don't say,
Yeah.
well, or get convinced to, do the thing, because I think about what's to come. And I know what I need.
Yeah.
I need downtime. I need quiet time. I do enjoy the time that I spend alone. I love to putter around my house. I love to be, in my own space. So it's not to go and, oh, but you could knock it out in 2 hours. I thought about it. I'm like, you could do these things quickly, yes, but I don't want to. I don't want
Right.
to.
Right.
I want to wait for the moment that I feel like the invitation to go sit at my desk and complete the things that I need to do. I don't want to be robotic when it comes to anything in my life. When
Right.
it comes to workout, when it comes to eating, everything is, all right, well, what's the right time to do what I need to do at the moment? That's why I say give yourself grace.
Right.
It's important to be committed and non-negotiable and do the thing you need to do, or all the things. But also, trust yourself that the right time, even the time of the day sometimes, because 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
I can just
I'm the same
not
time, yeah.
function. So what do? I plan around that. I plan around those hours.
Yeah.
Your energy. One of the things that I do and use is the calendar. And you know that I love my calendar. So Sunday night, reviewing the week, what's coming up, what do I need to move? Actually, we have a meeting on Wednesday at 12 o'clock. I had another appointment, and I was able to reschedule because I looked at my week ahead of time. So looking at that and then making those priorities. And you said something that I've heard this, if you erase, you must replace. So if you have to take it off of here, where else could you do that if that's still something that's important to you?
Right.
So using my calendar and seeing it 1 week at a time helps.
I definitely, when we did that calendar exercise, I was all over the place. I had my personal, I had my work, I was just everywhere. And I did combine it, and now I have my Mondays and Fridays where I try not to meet new clients because those are my days to regroup. And yeah, if I don't have any work to do, it is my day for me. Usually the kids are at school. And yes, I do like to putter around the house, and I do my best thinking when I am alone, right? When we're never alone, we're parents, we're busy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like 3 o'clock, the kids are coming home, I don't have a moment.
Right.
And I work from home. And so even though I work till 6, the Tuesday, Wednesday, and my Thursdays, I make sure that I turn off the computer at 6. Unless, like you said, you have those circumstances, it is off, and I don't care. And my Sundays, I tried doing it the other day. I was like, nope, not even going to look at the phone. And my husband's like, oh, did you get the group text that we're in? And I was like, well, you're in it, so just tell me what was said. Like, I'm not.
Give me a recap.
Look, I'm not opening up my phone. We're on vacation. This is my one day, and I know. It's just
Good for you.
My children are with me. Everyone's safe. Like,
Right.
I that's it. I have to put my priorities first, because if not, I'll be glued all the time.
I think it's so easy to get glued. I know that you and I were working on the Socation together that
Yes.
we're hosting in September. And I know I texted you and you wrote back to me, I think like 2 or 3 days later. And it was like, I knew you were on vacation and I was sending you this message, and my expectation was not that she was going to reply to me. And then when you replied to me, it's like, yeah, remember, I'm in the horse ranch with the family or whatever. And you answered me. And I think that is super important also, is like, we train people on how to treat us. Right? And because I know that you have those boundaries, my expectation changes, right? Of knowing that I'm going to send this text, and somehow the expectation is we send text to people and they have to reply within the next 5 minutes, right? And so you're all shaking your heads, absolutely not. But that took time for us to realize, right? Because there was a time where we didn't have those non-negotiables. There was a time where we didn't have those boundaries. So as we wrap up this conversation, I'd love for you to share, what was it like when you didn't have those boundaries and those non-negotiables, and why are you grateful that you have them now?
For me, I was all over the place. I couldn't, because you're answering and you're responsive immediately. Believe it or not, even though it seems like you're responding faster, you're actually forgetting what the question was or what that person asked you 2 days ago. And I would actually let things fall through the cracks. So now it's like, well, I'm not going to answer that text. I'm not going to open it, because on Monday, when I have fresh eyes and I'm not busy, I'm going to look at all my messages and respond the way that I should versus giving an answer right away. And then I'm so busy Saturday, Monday, and then I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. I forgot because I answered that message over the weekend and I really didn't give my heart and soul or my full attention to it. So now today is my work day and I'm going to answer all of these messages the way that I need to. But it was not fun. And it took me a very long time to get there. This took me over a year to figure out this is what I need to do because
Well, it took you over a year, but decades, right? Of thinking when we were back in our 20s, you know, were we saying yes to everything? Where now we look back and we're like, hell no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you said that, the first expression that came, in the emoji that's like,
Yeah.
with the eyes rolling.
Like the eye like this.
That's what it was, because again, trying to do so much, it just things get lost in the wayside. It's just, you forget things. You're like, instead of, and I didn't learn this lesson while I was having all the kids, right? It was like, yeah. And by the time I finished the day or that week or something, I was beat. I didn't have
Yeah.
enough to give because I didn't prioritize the correct. So yes, that was my emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get wrapped up in the FOMO.
Yeah.
Even that, where it's like the fear of missing out. I'll say yes. I'll say yes and then figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll go and then, I'll sort it out. When you're young, you can.
Yeah.
But then the older you get, the more priorities. It's really about priorities
Yeah.
and thinking about what's important. When, like you say, I have clients that love to text and I, it's about send me an email, please. I'll respond better if you send me an email.
Yeah.
And that way I know that I will get back to you
Right.
when I'm sitting at my desk at my computer.
Right.
But if I'm responding and I don't have my glasses and I can't get it done, and then it's not professional, and then you're inviting that type of exchange.
That's right.
Especially
That's
with your
right.
clients, with this kind of softness. And that's something that I appreciate with you, Luli, that you're like, boundaries are very important when it comes to business. Otherwise, you run yourself ragged and
Yeah.
you spread yourself too thin,
Yeah.
and then you don't show up in a professional manner. And then that's when people are like, oh, well, she wasn't, all the things.
Yeah, and
Right?
I love that I model that in Boost, right? That I have systems and operations in place and people in place to take care of certain things. And so what I often tell you guys in Boost is, I have a team that takes care of questions, administrative things, not because I can't answer them, because I think that's the other piece too. It's very easy for me to reply to a text and answer, what time a workshop is. But if I start to do that and I become available all the time, then when one of the boosties has an emergency or really needs my full support, I'm not present to that because I have set up nearly 40 people to know that they can come to me to ask me a question that's already in the dashboard, right? Like we go back to, we train people on how to treat us. And that can be hard because it feels like, what's the big deal? It's back to what you were saying, right? It's only 3 seconds. It's only 2 minutes. But it's never only 2 minutes.
No, it's
Right?
2 minutes for you, but it's like having someone knock at your door all
That's
day.
right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
the truth is, I want to be able to scroll. What if I
Right.
want to sit on my phone and scroll
Yes.
all day long? You're going to interrupt me all day because you're like, oh, it's like, think
Yes.
about the people who have their eyes on their phone, and that's how they live. And then you're going to throw in a question.
Right.
It's about
Yeah.
us taking responsibility too of
Yeah.
being mindful of others.
No, I love that you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah. You teach people how to treat you. What a great conversation.
I know.
Non-negotiables and boundaries.